Hello everyone, it's Thursday, June 20th, and you're looking at a live view of our Falcon 9 rocket awaiting its 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time launch from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. My name is Kate Tice. I'm a Senior Engineering Manager here at SpaceX, and I'm joining you from our headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Welcome to our live launch coverage of the ASTRA 1P mission on behalf of our customer, SES. Today's launch marks SpaceX's 62nd mission of 2024 and the 346th overall Falcon 9 mission to date. Now, as some of you may recall, SES was one of SpaceX's earliest customers and has been a key partner for us over the years. ASTRA 1P marks our 12th dedicated mission with SES, having first launched SES-8 in 2013, and most recently the third O3B mPOWER mission last year. But perhaps most notably, back in March of 2017, as you see here on your screen, we launched SES-10 on what was the first reflight of Falcon 9. I remember that webcast very well. It's still one of the most exciting missions I've hosted because it was the first time an orbital-class rocket had ever flown twice. Now, just 7 years later, reusing our boosters seems like the norm. SpaceX has reflown Falcon rockets 290 times, including 4 boosters that have completed 20 or more flights each. Today, we hope to add one more to our tally with the launch of ASTRA 1P. The ASTRA 1P satellite is a wide-beam broadcasting satellite with 80 Ku-band transponders for broadcasters and content owners across large TV markets in Germany, Spain, and France. We'll have more to share about today's mission a bit later in the webcast. We're currently at T-minus 11 minutes and 15 seconds. The vehicle is looking good, and teams are not working any technical issues. Weather is also looking good. As you see there, it's a beautiful day with some clouds in the background. However, it's something we will continue to monitor, as there was a 40% possibility of violating the launch criteria weather-wise. So, continuing to monitor that. But for now, let's learn a bit more about the Falcon 9 supporting today's flight.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
El jueves 20 de junio a las 5 de la tarde y 35.
At this point in time, Stage 1 and Stage 2 are beginning to pressurize for launch.
SpaceX lanzó la misión ASTRA 1P a una órbita de transferencia geosincrónica desde el complejo de lanzamiento espacial 40
And there we just heard our launch director give the
en la
final go
estación
for
de la
launch
Fuerza
tonight.
Espacial de Cabo
We're currently
Cañaveral en
at
Florida.
T-minus 35 seconds,
Este fue el
and
noveno
all
vuelo
systems
del
are go for
propulsor
launch
de
of Falcon
primera
9
etapa
with
que
the
apoya
ASTRA
esta
1P
misión,
satellite.
que anteriormente lanzó
Let's
las
listen in on the
misiones
final moments
AX-2,
of the launch
Yuki,
countdown.
AX-3, CRS-34 Starlink.
T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go SpaceX, go ASTRA 1P. Okay, let's push downrange.
We're at T plus 33 seconds and counting. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 carrying the ASTRA 1P satellite. After clearing the tower, we tilted or gimbaled the engines to initiate a roll maneuver.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And you may notice that in the Stage 1 camera view. This enables the vehicle's antennas to stay in the best position for communicating with the ground. In just a few seconds, we're going to be throttling down the engines in preparation for max Q, which stands for the maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
And there we heard that call out. As Falcon 9 accelerates through the thicker lower atmosphere, that air density decreases. Falcon 9 passes max Q once the air density lowers faster than the increasing speed of the vehicle. You can keep your eye on the Stage 1 telemetry there in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, and keep an eye on those speed changes through ascent. Now, the rocket typically needs to go 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and therefore get into orbit. In about 30 seconds, we're going to have 3 events coming up that will happen all in succession, quite quickly, starting with main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and second engine start 1, or SES-1, not to be confused with today's customer, SES. As the name suggests, main engine cutoff is where we shut down all 9 M1D engines on the first stage. Beautiful views coming from the Stage 1 booster. Coming up on MECO now.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
It looks like we have a pretty clear view of the targeted landing area, so if you look closely, you might be able to see our drone ship come into view.
Stage 1 landing burn.
There we can see the drone ship in picture. Landing burn initiated.
And back shutdown.
Landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
An incredible view from two different angles. As you can see, Falcon 9 has landed once again, marking our 320th successful landing of an orbital class rocket, including first stage landings for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. It's also the 250th time that we've recovered a booster on a drone ship. Pretty cool. Now, while all of that excitement was happening, we also had great news on the second stage. We heard confirmation of SECO-1, and we also heard confirmation of good orbit. So that tells us that we've got nominal orbital insertion. At this point, we're going to go into a coast phase, and it will last about 18 minutes. When we return, we'll have a handful of events happening, starting with second engine start 2 and second engine cutoff 2. And those events will be followed by a 7-minute coast. And finally, payload deploy around T plus 35 minutes, just before T plus 35 minutes, in fact. So stick around and enjoy some space tunes in the meanwhile. Welcome back. For those that have just recently joined, we had an on-time liftoff of 5:35 p.m. Eastern Time from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and it's followed by a successful stage separation about 2.5 minutes into launch. As you can see, the second engine has reignited for its second ignition, or SES-2, second engine start 2. You can see that the speed is once again increasing, as well as the altitude, following along with the stage 2 telemetry GUI on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. This will last another few seconds. This was just a short 1-minute burn of the MVAC engine. Standing by for SECO-2, second engine cutoff 2.
Good orbit insertion.
All right. As you can see on your screen, we did have successful cutoff of that MVAC engine, and we also heard the call out there for a good orbit. Right now, we are going to await the final milestone for today's mission, of course, spacecraft separation. We're going to go into another short 7-minute coast, and for now, we will see you back here at T plus 34 minutes for deployment of ASTRA 1P.
ASTRA 1P, también conocido como SES-24, es un próximo satélite de comunicaciones de ASTRA, que está siendo construido por Thales Alenia Space para el propietario/operador SES. El satélite se ubicará en la principal ranura de transmisión europea de SES en 19,2 grados este, donde se unirá o reemplazará a los satélites ASTRA 1KR, ASTRA 1L, ASTRA 1M y ASTRA 1N. Actualmente estacionado allí y comenzarán a funcionar a principios de 2025. ASTRA 1P será el primer satélite ASTRA lanzado por SpaceX.
A communication satellite that will strengthen SES's TV coverage across Germany, Spain, and France.
SES-24 deploy confirmed.
All right. We saw slight visual confirmation, but definitely heard that call on the nets, telling us that we had a successful deployment of ASTRA 1P. All of us here at SpaceX would like to thank our customer SES for entrusting us with today's mission. We'd also like to thank the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for their support. If you're interested in more launch coverage, be sure to check spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. And before we go, as many of you know, June is Pride Month and is a time to recognize, honor, and celebrate the contributions of those within the LGBTQ+ community. And yesterday was Juneteenth, a powerful day in American history that marks the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. SpaceX celebrates both Pride and Juneteenth with our employees and our community. We'd like to wish everyone a happy Pride Month and a belated Juneteenth. That will conclude our webcast coverage of the ASTRA 1P mission. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.